Hey everyone, this is my second vlog. I don't count the interrupted um, part of the first vlog because when I move away from the recording, it stopped recording. But I really need to use the phone and I have to call somebody, so that doesn't count. Right, so no one's home right now. Oh my god, thank god, because I've been really wanting some alone time, not that I'm already alone. Oh, I'm just so... but yeah, so what the hell am I supposed to really talk about? I guess I'm supposed to talk about like a follow-up for from the previous vlog, finding methods to slowly increase my my discipline, I guess, my self-discipline. Honestly, that literally was like less than a day ago. So I highly doubt that I'd have anything to come back with. So let's talk about something else, shall we? Great. Okay, so I really need to finish and focus the first two modules. Oh my god, I've been really pulling it off. I have no idea. Why am I doing that? Why? So I guess maybe it's because I'm afraid, I'm ashamed, I don't want to, or maybe it's just really tiring, because like you really have to think about what is it that you like and what you do. And in fact, one of the questions asked me, let's see if I can find it. One of the questions asked me, name 3 functions that you're uniquely good at, and ask around if you don't know personally, or just take like a little survey and ask a couple people who might know you well, and ask them 3 functions that I'm uniquely good at. And I don't know what it really means by function. Is it talking about my skills? Because there's always going to be someone else who's really good at X program and Y skill and this thing. I was thinking that functions is more relative to you as being a person. For example, I like to, not that I like to, but I'm very collected and calm when I mediate other people's issues. That's one way, because I've always noticed when I was growing up, when other people have issues, I always investigate in those people's issues and see what really bothers them, and really try to learn about their issues, where they're coming from, and seeing that they try to help explore it themselves through my guidance or through my mediation. I like that. I actually really like that. You know what? I don't even mind being a counselor. Unfortunately, I didn't take any programs that would likely lead to that sort of career, so I'm so tired when I think about it. I get exhausted. I get so exhausted when I think about it, because I'm be like, do I have to go to school again? I don't want to. I just don't. And then, okay, so that's the first function. And the second function, now, I think it's quite diverse, because I wasn't really quite sure whether to really determine the second function as that. So I have 3 parts to that second function, which doesn't make sense, because that's like saying a whole 3 different sets, a whole different set of 3 functions. Okay, so the first part is starting a project. Take an initiative. I like to take initiative. I like to start something because no one else is gonna start it. I'm gonna start it. That's what I find myself doing that. So when I'm trying to come up with 3 different functions that I'm uniquely good at, I'm really looking at not that it's super unique, in the whole world, that only you possess it, but rather that's unique to yourself, that you notice yourself doing very often and you have no problem doing it, or rather that you just find yourself just naturally being pulled towards to it, So, so I have a natural tendency to take the initiative. I also so the second part of the second function would be high level thinking. I like to think high level. So let's get these parts down, and then trying to break it down it would take a lot more work, and frankly I would need help for that. But that's teamwork. We need teamwork in order to do that. Of course, can't do it all yourself, right? Okay, so the third part of the second function would be being resourceful. Now, I'm not saying that no one else is resourceful. Of course not. I'm saying what's uniquely to myself is that if there's a plateau in the way, I will find another way to get around it. That's it. And try to find, like, when you're kind of desperate and all your life you really don't like doing this one particular thing, but there's no way to get around it, you'll find different methods to get around that fear, that feeling of that it's an obstacle, right? It's that feeling that really prevents you from moving forward. So I feel that that sort of life experience kind of build up to my being more resourceful than I would have if I just took everything like a straight arrow. Because if I took everything if I took everything in life like a straight arrow, I probably wouldn't think of alternatives, because I would never approach alternatives, because I would just approach it as a one-way street, when life is really not a one-way street. Okay, so all right, number 3, always make myself available to help others. That's it. Yeah, I find myself when someone needs help in something, they have a question, they want to ask me, they personally want to ask me. They're not just like, oh, I don't know what to do with my life, in like some sort of chat room or a general discussion, and it's not really directed to anyone. But if it's directed to myself and they really want to know what I think, I drop everything, I clear my head, and I go and help them. Of course, there's always exceptions, such as I'm in a hurry because I have other priorities, or I'm physically not fit to drop everything and help them. If you get my meaning. Okay, so, but from what I understand from the third function is that always making myself available to help others makes me a form of a people pleaser. And being as a people pleaser makes you persistently as a yes person, right? And sometimes is not a good thing, because you need to be able to discriminate and discern the differences of good judgment, poor judgment, and what is important, what's a priority, and stuff like that. Because if you constantly help other people when your work becomes neglected, then you're not really prioritizing your own job. So that being said, well, it depends on your job, because like if your job is to help other people, then that's what you do. But that being said, as a people pleaser, I've learned to prioritize my task, and without being dismissive of other people. I'm not saying that I'm not going to stop helping other people. I'm going to say that I'm going to really be considerate of my time and schedule in relation to all the tasks that I have to do in pursuit of the business strategy or objective. So that's something that I will definitely consider. So that's 3 functions. And I asked my partner, and he said, I'm very technical. I forget what else he said. Technical and digitally savvy, I guess. I don't know. That's what a lot of I don't think that's really naturally for me, I'm well attuned to, like, when it comes to digital technology. I like to work with computers. I like to work with software programs. But I'm not an organized person. I'm only organized in the sense where it's organized in my world. So if I leave it out for someone else to come in one day to take my place with the same preset as I set before, they're not going to understand what the hell I'm doing. It's like, what is this person doing? Oh. So yeah, I guess that's one of the things. I asked my other friend. She said a couple of things. Let me see if I could bring this up or something, because that would help. Well, she said, I don't think, you know what? I didn't ask her the actual term, the keyword functions. So I asked her, can you tell me if there's anything I'm uniquely good at? And she said, being righteous, virtuous, emitting strong, independent aura, networking. I don't know if that really works. Networking, I think that's just me taking initiative. I'm not really good at networking. I'm not really good, like, just kind of going up to people and be like, hey, what's up? Give me your number. We'll exchange information. Let's talk later. Let's chat over coffee, shall we? Let's do it. Do it. Do it. No, I would just be really creepy. In fact, it's almost to the level of stalkerish creepy. And I don't think that's something that people might appreciate. No, of course not. I find that so tiring. Who says it isn't tiring? Of course, right? But yeah. I really need to think about what I'm really good at on a functional basis. I'm just going to interpret it as how I first initially interpreted it. So I'll probably go with that. But yeah, I think I'll go with that. Now I'm just regretting, like, why didn't I go for social work or something? Did education and all that. I can't be a guidance counselor, I think. And, you know, there's just, I don't want to go back to school so much for that stuff, you know? Does it really matter? Do I care? Should I care? Should I care that, you know, I really need to focus on what it is that I feel that I do best in, or I feel that I could do best in? I hate my horoscope. It told me that because I tend to be ambivalent, I can't pick a side. Because it will be controversial or be conflicting with the pros and cons or whatever it is, and I tend to agree both ways. And see, weakness, it says here, okay, strengths, reasonable, social, fun-loving, great. Weaknesses, unsure, indecisive, that's me. Ambivalent, passive, I need to be more assertive. I need to be more assertive, and I feel uncomfortable being assertive because I feel like I'm imposing on other people. Okay, it says here key to success for my personality. It lies in building a solid ego structure tough enough to protect them and realistic enough to advance their aspirations. I guess what that means is that I really need to be more thick-skinned, less sensitive, don't take too many things personally, and set realistic expectations within my ego structure. I need to really be reminded what that means again, to advance my aspirations. And I guess my aspiration it's somewhere up there in the air, but if I'm not strong enough to build myself, I can never reach it. Let's see. Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, you know what? Wow, I'm emotionally complex. Yes, I am. I am emotionally complex. And if you're wondering where I'm getting this information from, if you guys check out, oh, I don't have my glasses on. The Secret Language of Birthdays. just type that in on Amazon.com or .ca, wherever you're from, and you will find it's a big ass book with 2 pages dedicating to a birth date. So I was born on the day of compassionate combatant. So I will fight for what I believe in. But I'm remarkably passive. Okay. I tend to accept other people's views. But because of that, I tend to put off crucial decisions and lose direction for periods of time. So I am not a good leader. I am not a good leader that would be able to just stand there by myself leading hundreds of people because I would tend to become indecisive. But you know what? If a leader is willing to listen and accept other people's views, as what I understand from my studies, that is being a good leader. A good leader, basically. Someone who's open, who is accepting of other people's views, who considers contrasting ideas, whatever it is that would be applicable holistically to an institution or a company or, like an education institution, basically. Because I studied education, so that's different. But it doesn't mean that it's not applicable, because as long it is within a social institution that involves with other people, that's where it can be applicable to. And because a business always involves people, that can be applicable too. So anyways, I'm going to sign out now, and it's been like 17 minutes now, so I'm just going to do that. Thank you very much for listening to this very amateurish blog. I know the camera's shaking a bit because I'm holding it. I don't have a holder for my phone. I'm not going to do that. And yeah. You see a little pushing right there. Pushing. Yeah, I know. Pushing keeps me warm at night. Okay. Signing off.